What's going on, guys? Connor Wells here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I hope you're all safe and well. Apologies that it has been quite a while since I have last posted a video. Things have been absolutely manic, like non-stop manic. I have had quite a lot of work to do, whether it's when it comes to filming and editing. Yeah, it's been pretty non-stop. So apologies for the delay on videos, but we're here now. We're near the end of the year, so I'm gonna hopefully pump out 2 or 3 more videos before I take a little bit of a break for Christmas and then New Year's as well. So apologies. So I thought in this video I'd take an opportunity to answer a few questions. I put a little post out on my Facebook page and the YouTube channel as well, asking you guys if you've got any questions about filming, editing, photography, videography, podcast production and all that jazz. So I'm going to answer a few of those questions now. There was quite a few. I won't have time to answer them all in one video, but I'm going to answer them now. So yeah, let's jump into them. So the first question is from Joey. Love Joey. He's an amazing supporter of the channel and everything I do creatively. So yeah, Joey, big love to you. His question was, how do you color grade your videos? Now, firstly, this is just my preference. This is just the way I do things. I'm sure there's probably different ways. It's all each to their own, really, when it comes to color grading. But basically, I filmed my footage in a very flat profile with the camera I'm using at the moment, which is the Canon EOS M50. It doesn't have C-Log or Cinelog sort of thing, like a really good sort of official Canon flat profile. So I download one called CineStar, which basically makes the footage look really flat, no saturation, no contrast, a little bit of sharpness to it, but that's about it, which means when you bring it into the editing software, we'll talk about that later, you can bring back that dynamic range. So I'll show you, this is what it looks like uncolor graded. Pretty boring, pretty flat, not much detail to it. And then that's what it looks like color graded. Big difference. So when I'm color grading my footage, what I do is you've got your shadows, your midtones, and your highlights. Now, you don't want your footage above the highlights, above 100. And you don't want your shadows below 0, that way it's underexposed. So I pretty much drag the shadows down to just above 0, and I drag my highlights up to just above 100. I don't really mess with the midtones too much. And then usually I'll chuck on a LUT, drag it down to about 50% because you don't want the LUT to completely oversaturate your picture, and then I'll toy around with it from there. Add a little bit of sharpness back in, some noise reduction. Sometimes I'll add some film grain if I feel the shot needs it. So that's pretty much my color grading walkthrough. There's not much to it really. It does take a bit of time if you're doing individual clips at different locations, different times of the day as well. But if I'm just sat here, I can just color grade this entire clip and it'll be the same because all the footage is going to stay the same, the camera's going to stay in the same position, the lighting's not going to change, hopefully. So that's my color grading workflow. Thank you for the question, Joey. The next question is from Jack Alexander, singer of the band that I play in. We've got new music coming out soon, which is very exciting. Most overrated and overpriced cameras, especially for those wanting to get into photography. Now, that's a great question. There are lots of overrated cameras, but I guess that is due to people's preferences, really. What some may consider overrated, some may consider the perfect camera. Like, I'm hoping to get the R5 soon and the R6. Some people may say the 8K and the 4K 120 is a bit overrated for them. For me, yeah, the 8K probably is a bit overrated. The 4K 120 though will come in very handy. That's something that I'm going to be using quite a lot. Overpriced cameras, that's tricky really. Overpriced cameras, I mean, it all depends really on your budget. For beginners, I always recommend people get the Canon M50. It's a great entry-level camera. Yeah, it's a little bit expensive, about the £600 mark here in the UK, but you also do get the kit lens with it, which is not a bad start. You know, you got the 15 to 45, so that's quite comfortable to vlog on and film yourself. Sometimes I'll even film these videos with the kit lens, which is just above There it is on my shelf. Had to look in my monitor there. I don't use it too often, but when I'm filming in 4K, I put it in manual focus, and yeah, I want a little bit more shallow depth of field, so I'll chuck on the 15 to 45. Value for money wise, the Canon M50 is a great camera for entry level, for just getting into it. Obviously, as this career of mine progresses into a professional production agency that I'm making, I'm going to be upgrading my cameras. So hopefully I'm aiming for a Canon R5, an R6, maybe even a C70. You never know. Those cameras, for example, would probably be considered overpriced. Look at the Red cameras, you know, Red Monstro 8K, £15,000 for one of them probably. They're pretty much overkill for most things, and most people would probably consider them overpriced and overrated. But then when you look at the things that are filmed on Netflix with those cameras, like Arri Alexas as well, they're tailored to a certain job. So I think overpriced and overrated is a matter of preference, really. The next question is from Amy Rivers. What did the AF/MF focus thing really mean the other day? So I posted a meme on my photography page talking about autofocus and manual focus. It's quite a funny meme. I'll chuck it on the screen now. But yeah, it was pretty funny. So AF and MF, you are getting right. Autofocus and manual focus. So autofocus is basically the camera, it does what it says on the tin, automatically focusing. So some people will have it automatically track faces. The camera software and autofocus system will automatically look for faces to track. So when you turn around, turn back, a square will appear around your face usually, and it's tracking. So whether you move left or right, forwards or backwards, it will track and continually focus. Whereas manual focus, you use the focus ring on the front of the camera and you dial that in. And it will either focus back to, say, the background of the screen, or it will focus on, you know, what's in the foreground, which for me is my face. So yeah, I usually use manual focus when I'm filming in 4K with the Canon M50. That's mainly because this camera's 4K is a little bit crippled, so I do not really rely on the autofocus just because it's not good when it's in 4K. But when I'm filming in 1080 or Full HD, I use autofocus because it works wonders. It's great. Most cameras have really good autofocus these days, so if for entry-level stuff, rely on autofocus. It's quite handy these days. Next question was from Isabella Oliveira Braga. I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, I greatly apologise. Her question was, what camera would you recommend to start filming YouTube videos? Also, microphones and lighting. Now, I sort of answered the camera question. I recommend the Canon M50. Great camera. Value for money. It's top notch, and you can usually buy it from Canon refurbished at a very, very good price. Now, when it comes to lighting and audio, I'd say audio is much, much more important than lighting. Statistics actually say people would much rather watch a video with great audio and bad picture quality rather than great picture quality with bad audio. So audio is incredibly important when it comes to filming yourself and just general video production in general. For me, I have got a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus on a boom pole right above me here. It's just out of shot. I could probably pull it down. There we go. You can see it just poking up there. I'm not going to mess with it too much, but I've got a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus boomed up there. Sometimes I'll use the podcasting equipment. Something may be happening soon, podcast-wise. I'm not going to reveal too much, but something might be happening soon. I'm not going to say what it is, but something. Anyway, I digress. I always recommend Rode microphones. Rode microphones are absolutely fantastic. I have bought so many Rode microphones. I had the original Rode VideoMic. I had the Rode VideoMic Pro, the VideoMic Pro Plus, the Video Micro. So if you're on a budget, I highly recommend the Rode Video Micro. It's small, compact, and here in the UK on Amazon, you can probably get it for about £40 on Amazon. It's a great microphone, really, really good, small and compact, and it doesn't actually require a battery, which is a game changer really as well. It's a great microphone, and you can boom it up like this. So if you have a microphone stand, you can stick it on there and boom it on there. Lighting wise, I use Neewer lights. Neewer lights are brilliant. I've used their lights pretty much since the start of my YouTube career and video production career. So behind me, I've got an LED panel over there as my hair light. I've got a key light here, which is a Neewer softbox. I did have two of them, but somebody broke one of mine, which is a bit annoying. So I've got one of them, which is my sort of my key light. I've got a hair light there. I've got another one of those as well, LED panels. You can usually get a nice little studio kit for under £200 on Amazon of Neewer stuff. They make great stuff. It's affordable and very, very reliable. I've never had any Neewer stuff break on me that wasn't done by somebody else, but it's very reliable and very affordable. And Isabella actually asked another question as well: best editing apps or programs. Now, this is a matter of preference, and I think as well a matter of what computer software you use. If you are using a Windows PC, well, you've either got two options. You've got DaVinci Resolve or you've got Premiere Pro. Now, I don't use any of them because I'm on a Mac and I use Final Cut Pro. Final Cut for me has just been a dream to work with. It's reliable. It's a one-time payment. You pay £300 or $300 in the US, and that's it. One-time payment, and you've got it for life. You get updates as well. You can install it onto other MacBooks as well. So if you've got two MacBooks, you don't need to buy separate licenses for it as well. So Premiere Pro, you pay monthly, and I believe you have to pay separate licenses as well. I don't know about DaVinci Resolve. I've never looked into it, but I know a lot of people are using it these days. But for me, Final Cut Pro is great if you're using a Mac. If you don't have £300, if you are on a budget, just stick with iMovie. That's where I started making videos. iMovie is great entry level, and if you know how to use it, there's actually quite a bit you can do with iMovie. So there's a few there that I suggest. Isabella, thank you very much for your questions. The last question for this video is from Vince Brown. He says, hello mate, how did you make your intro? Did you buy transition packs, etc.? Yes, I did. Funny story about my intro. I accidentally wiped my hard drive the other day, which was not fun, and I actually lost my intro. Luckily, I've still got the transition pack, which I bought previously on a like a Storyblocks membership. Great, love Storyblocks, by the way. Amazing for stock footage and transitions, effects, titles, and all that jazz. They're brilliant. So I actually have to remake my intro. So I might put it off till next year. Because I might get some more footage to film specifically for the intro, because during the hard drive wipe, I recovered pretty much most of my stuff, but I did lose quite a bit of footage from like trips and stuff. Luckily, I made vlogs of it, so it's on YouTube if I ever want to look back on it, but I did lose quite a bit of footage. Luckily, I did have some backups, so there was some that was saved. But yeah, I do need to remake my intro. I'm still going to use the same template and the same song because I quite like that funky little vibe going on there. But yeah, I used a transition pack really, and it's great. I think it was from Storyblocks, so highly recommend Storyblocks. Not sponsored, but they are great. So this was a pretty long video. Thank you very much everybody who got involved, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope your questions were answered. I'm going to be doing another one of these next year in January. I'm going to hopefully make these a monthly thing because yeah, I think they prove quite handy for people. If you'd like to see some of my work, my photography and my videography projects, do check out my website connorwells.com. and you can check out my portfolio there. You can also head over to my shop there as well, and you can buy my Lightroom presets. These are the first Lightroom presets I've ever released. These are what I use all the time for editing photos. They don't work on every single photo. They are a great sort of starting point to sort of, start off the editing process. Lightroom presets are not a be-all and end-all. They are not a one-click and done. They are a great starting point, and these are the Lightroom presets that I've made myself and I use on editing photos. So check them out at connorwells.com. That would be amazing, and I'd love to know what you think of them as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace.